So welcome to battle report number 14, where the Dark Elves fight the adventurers in a second take of our Halloween scenario. Due to the dense fog, not the whole warband will fight in the game. Only one hero and one henchman group chosen randomly will start the game. At later stages, reinforcements might arrive. So for the Dark Elves we have 3 models starting the game. First up it's Gramra the fabled, represented here by a new model. He's equipped with a set of light armor, a dagger, 2 swords and a repeater crossbow, and his special skill is Swordmaster, so when he attacks he can reroll 2 hit rolls with the swords. Alongside him are 2 corsairs, Aldrog and Ulrin, and they are just equipped with 2 daggers. For the adventurers we also have 3 models. First up in hero section is Baron Ulbricht himself. He's equipped with a helmet, a shield, a set of light armor, a dagger, a sword and a pistol, and he is immune to fear. Alongside him are the 2 warriors, Jochen and Bob, and they got a 3 dagger and a spear. So this is the table we play on. It's in fact the same as the last battle report, as we need quite an open area in the middle, so no changes on that. As you can see, we have this weirdstone monolith in the middle of the table. So this is the centerpiece, and the warbands have to try to chop off a piece of weirdstone from this centerpiece and bring it over to that table edge. But if they do so, evil creatures will appear. All over the board you can see these pumpkin patches. So if a model begins or ends its movement near one of these patches, it can search them and find a trick or threat. So either it gets something or maybe it could die. So as we have dense fog in this scenario, this will make shooting more difficult. So if you shoot at a target that is more than 4 inches away, the ballistic skill is reduced by 1, and furthermore every 2 inches. But the fog does not only make shooting more difficult, it also affects the movement. So if you want to move more than 4 inches, you have to roll on a d6. On a 3+, you are not affected by the fog, but on a 1 to 2, you have to roll on the table to see what happens. There will be no route test, and warband wins if the opponent can't get any models on the table. The adventurers have won the roll-off, and therefore they will choose the table side and set up first. So the adventurers have set up on this side of the table, Baron Ulbricht in the middle, ready to storm forward, flanked by his 2 warriors ready to search the pumpkin patches. So the Dark Elves are on the opposite side. On the left flank we have Aldrog. Beside him Ulrin, ready to search the pumpkin patch. And in the middle we have Gramra the fabled, also looking to search the pumpkins. Despite setting up last, the Dark Elves win the roll-off and will begin the game. Before even starting the game, the Dark Elves are searching the pumpkin patches. Gramra, he got a 6, so he finds battering crunches, which grant him +1 toughness, and on a 6 it's a permanent mutation. Over here on this side, Ulrin is also searching the pumpkin patches, and he got lucky on double 6s. He finds the jack-o'-lantern, so he gets +2 experience. Gramna and Ulrin both make their run test and run forward 10 inches. Aldrog, at the other hand, he fails his run test, but on a 6 he still runs forward, but he gets hit by debris and goes to ground. As the Dark Elves, also the adventurers start their game by searching the pumpkin patches. Bob, he got an 8, so he finds a true sight prism, At the end, in the exploration phase, the warband can reroll 1 dice thanks to it. And Jochen also searches, he got an 11, so he finds a magic potion which grants him +1 strength, +1 initiative, and +1 on critical hits until the end of the game. Bob, he fails his run test, and on a 4 he can still run, but he crashes against barrels and he is stunned. His leader, Baron Ulbricht, he makes the test and runs 8 inches forward, and Jochen, he also misses the test, and on a 3 he still runs, but 8 inches in the wrong direction. Gremna and Julien are the first to reach the monolith and start chopping pieces off. Meanwhile, Aldrock, he went from ground to ground, he stood up and made a normal 4-inch movement forward. Attracted by the noise of chopping that the Dark Elves made, and on a roll of 1 and 6, 4 evil creatures appear on the board. So the zombies have a couple of special rules. They cause fear, they may not run but still make a normal attack. They are immune to psychology and to poison, and they know no pain. So a stunt result on the injury chart will only count as knocked down. Bob just got from stunned to ground. To protect his fellow comrade, Freiherr Ulbricht does not hesitate. He makes his run test and attacks the zombie near to Bob. He gets 1 hit with the sword, he wounds, but only manages to get him to ground. Jochen on the other side, this time he made his run test and he runs his full 8 inches towards the monolith. In the first turn for the zombies, 2 of the zombies are just wandering around as they don't find their prey. But this zombie here does. He attacks the Dark Elf Corsair, who fails his fear test. The zombie strikes but can't hit. The Dark Elf, in return, needing 6s, can't hit the zombie either. Then over here in the locked combat, Freiherr Ulbricht, he strikes first. He hits both. He makes 1 wound that is critical, and by adding 2 to the wound roll, he takes the zombie out of action. Having chopped off a piece from the monolith, Julien, the Corsair, he moves 4 inches away. Gremna, he decides to attack the zombie. He makes his run move and also his fear move. In the close combat, the Corsair, he strikes first. He gets a hit but fails to wound. Then Gremna, he makes 1 hit, can reroll the other, which he makes also. He gets a critical wound, but only manages to get a stunt result, which will be ignored by the zombie, and he will only go to ground. Bob stands up from ground, and after recovering, he makes a normal 4-inch movement forward. Freiherr Ulbricht, after having slain the zombie, on a 3 he runs towards the monolith to get his reward. Jochen, he fails his run test, and on 11 he can escape a fatal accident and make his normal movement. While the 2 adventurers are chopping off pieces of the monolith on a roll of 3 and 4, 4 new creatures appear on the board. Some of the zombies again wandering around, but 3 of them, they find their prey, beginning with this one. He attacks Jochen, who makes his fear test. Due to his spear, he attacks first. He hits, he wounds, and takes the zombie to ground. Gremna, the fabled, he is attacked by the 2 zombies at a time. He makes 1 attack against each of them, hitting 1, wounding him, and getting him to ground. The other zombie, he tries to strike back but fails on a 1. Then the Corsair, he fights against the other zombie. He gets 1 hit but fails to wound, and in return the zombie he can't hit the dark elf. Jorlin slowly moves away, trying to escape with his piece of weirdstone. Meanwhile, here in the close combat, Gremna the fabled, he makes his 2 attacks against the zombie who was not on the ground. He makes both hits, 1 wound, and takes him to ground. Not so much luck in the other close combat. The Corsair, he strikes first, gets a hit but fails to wound, and in return the zombie manages to get him to ground. Baron Ulbricht moves away from the monolith with his piece of weirdstone in the pocket. Meanwhile, Bob, he moves towards the monolith to get his own piece of weirdstone. In the close combat, Johann, he can't do nothing to the zombie that was already on the ground. On a roll of 1, only 1 new zombie arrives at the field. 2 of the zombies are just wandering around as they are too far away from their prey. Meanwhile, this zombie here in the middle, he makes it into close combat with Jochen. He makes his fear test, but fails to hit with his spear on a 3. Then the 2 zombies, they strike back. 1 hits him, wounds him, and takes him to ground. Meanwhile, here in the big close combat between the dark elves and the zombies, Gremna, he strikes first. He makes a 1 hit against the zombie that threatens his comrade. He hits him, he wounds him critically, but only again gets him to ground. The other attack is against this zombie. Again a hit, wound, and he goes to ground. The only zombie left who's not on the ground, he tries to strike back, but he fails to hit on a 2. Jorlin makes his run test and he runs forward, trying to escape as soon as possible with the weirdstone. Meanwhile, here in the close combat, Gremna, he makes his 2 attacks against the zombie that was not on the ground. He hits both, he gets even 1 critical hit, but again only manages to get him to ground. But more luck on this side. The Corsair, he can hit the zombie that is on the ground, he wounds him and he takes him out of action. Baron Ulbricht and Bob both make their run test and try to escape with the weirdstone, which maybe was a mistake, as their friend Jochen is taken out of action by a zombie. He's hit, he's wounded critically, and he's out. The zombies over here are out of reach and just wander around, as does this one here in the corner, far away from the battle. These 2 zombies, they miss their attack test, so also just wandering around. 1 getting close to the Corsair. Then here in the close combat, the Gremna the fabled, he makes 1 attack against each zombie, failing the first, but hitting the second, but only again manages to get the zombie to ground, thanks to his strength of 4. The other zombie, he tries to strike back, but can't hit the Swordmaster. Meanwhile, Jorlin makes it off the table, securing the first piece of weirdstone for the Dark Elves. His fellow Corsair friend, he makes his fear test and attacks the zombie who threatens the back of their hero. He gets 1 hit, a wound, and takes the zombie out of action. Gremna the fabled, he makes his 2 attacks against the zombie on his left. He gets a hit, a wound, but only again gets him to ground. After the death of their comrade, the 2 adventurers just try to escape the city of horror. They both make their run test and run towards the board, but just quite don't make it. The zombies that are far away just wander around, but 1 zombie makes it into close combat with the Corsair. The Corsair, however, he makes his fear test, but the zombie is this time too fast for him. He hits him, he wounds him, and takes him to ground. Gremna, he makes 1 attack against each of the zombies, hitting both. making 1 critical wound, and by adding 2 to the injury roll he takes the zombie out of action. The other zombie left, he tries to hit the Swordmaster but can't get a hit through. The 2 Dark Elves are locked into close combat. The Corsair, he stands up from ground, therefore he strikes last, so the zombie can't take his chance, he fails the hit. In return, the Corsair gets 1 hit through, but he fails to wound on a 3. Gremna is doing better, so he gets 2 hits, 2 wounds, and takes the last zombie around him out of action. With a normal move, both Freiherr Ulbricht and Bob make it off the table, securing 2 Weirdstone shards for the adventurers. Freiherr Ulbricht is returning instantly on the battlefield, as is a new warrior, Armin. He's equipped with a dagger and a club. No one test needed when you enter the table, so Freiherr Ulbricht, he runs towards the monolith. Meanwhile, Armin, he's directing himself towards the pumpkin patches. 2 of the zombies make their normal 4-inch movement as there's no prey in target. However, this zombie, he finds a prey on a 6. This time the Dark Elf, he doesn't make his fear test, but the zombie can't get a hit through, and in return needing 6s, the same for the Dark Elf. In this other close combat, the zombie, he strikes first but doesn't get a hit through. In return, the Corsair, he makes 2 hits, gets 1 critical wound, but only gets the zombie to ground. Short turn for the Dark Elves, as they are both locked in close combat. So the Corsair, he tries to wound the zombie that is on ground. He gets a wound, but the result is still gone to ground. In the other close combat, the fabled makes 2 attacks against the zombie. He gets 2 hits, 2 wounds, and finally takes the zombie out of action. Freiherr Ulbricht makes his run move and runs forward, only having the shiny Weirdstone in mind. On the right flank, Armin, he makes a normal movement towards the pumpkin patch. He searches it, and on 11 he finds a magic potion which grants him +1 strength, +1 to his initiative, and +1 to his critical rolls. Finally, also the 2 other zombies find a prey. This zombie over here, he attacks Freiherr Ulbricht. He hits him, he wounds him, but the adventurer is saved by his armor. In return, the human, he gets 1 hit with his dagger, but can't wound the zombie. Here, the Corsair, he's attacked by another zombie. He fails his fear test. The zombie, he fails to hit him. Then, needing a 6, the Dark Elf gets a 6 and he wounds the other zombie and takes him out of action. The fabled leaves the Corsair behind him in close combat with a filthy creature as he makes his run move and runs towards the table edge. The Corsair, he gets 2 hits on the zombie. He gets 2 wounds, of which 1 is a critical, and finally takes him out of action. Freiherr Ulbricht makes 2 attacks against the zombies, gets a hit, but fails to wound. In return, the zombie hits again with a 6, he wounds, and again Freiherr Ulbricht is saved by his armor. Next to him, Achim, he makes his run test and runs towards the monolith. Only 1 zombie left at the moment, who is locked into combat with Freiherr Ulbricht, but again it is a stalemate. With a successful run, Gremna makes it off the table, securing a 2nd Weirdstone for the Dark Elves. He's replaced by another hero, Pinya the Sorcerer. He's equipped with 2 daggers, a repeater crossbow. His spell is Death Spasm, so if successful casted, a model near him has to roll instantly on the injury table and he himself goes to ground. So Pina makes the move onwards towards the pumpkin patches. He searches them, and on a result of 11, which we already had 2 times in this game, he finds a magic potion, +1 strength, +1 initiative, and +1 on critical rolls. Meanwhile, Aldrock, the Corsair, he makes a normal movement towards the monolith to chop a piece off. While hammering at the monolith to get a piece off, on a roll of 5, 3 new zombies arrive. Scared by the zombie behind him, Armin moves 4 inches forward towards the monolith. Meanwhile, Freiherr Ulbricht, locked into close combat, he hits with his dagger. He wounds. The armor save due to dagger is failed, and the creature is taken to ground. This zombie fails his test and wanders away from his prey. The zombie over there, he makes his test and he attacks Armin the adventurer, who fails the fear test. The zombie hits him, he wounds him and drags him to ground. Over here in the locked combat, Freiherr Ulbricht, he strikes first. He gets 2 hits, he wounds with his sword and takes the evil creature out of action. The last zombie also finds the prey in the Corsair, who also fails the fear test, but the zombie can hit but not wound him. In return, needing 6s, the Dark Elf gets no hit through. Pina the Sorcerer fails the run move and has to roll on the table. On 11, he can avoid a fatal accident and still make his normal run move. Here in the close combat, the Dark Elf Corsair hits first. One attack goes through. He wounds the zombie. The armor save due to the dagger is failed, and the zombie goes to ground. Freiherr Ulbricht decides to join Armin in a close combat against the zombie. He makes one of his attacks but fails to wound. In return, the zombie hits back. He gets a hit. The parry is failed, but he can't wound the champion. Then Armin, he strikes against the zombie but fails both his attacks. This zombie is still walking around looking for some prey. Here in the close combat, Graf Ulbricht, he strikes first. He gets 1 hit through, he wounds and takes the zombie to ground. So Armin only has to wound him, which he does 2 times critically, and he takes the zombie out of action. In the close combat over here, the Corsair strikes first, gets a hit but doesn't wound. In return, the zombie, he hits, he wounds and takes the Dark Elf out of action. As the last henchman of the henchman group was taken out of action and the other one left the table, the Dark Elves can bring on randomly a new henchman group. This will be Randir, another Corsair, equipped with a dagger and a spear. Randir immediately runs forward, not needing to make a test because he just got on the board. Pina the Sorcerer, he makes a normal movement. Then he shoots his repeater crossbow twice on the zombie. Needing 6s, he gets 1, he wounds the zombie and takes him to ground. As the zombies around them have been killed, both Armin and Freiherr Ulbricht move towards the monolith. Attracted by the flesh meat that tries to steal their weirdstone, and on a roll of 4 and 6, 5 new zombies arrive at the table. Some of the zombies just stroll around. This one can't attack because he just got up from ground. But here one of the zombies, he attacks Freiherr Ulbricht, but he misses his hit. In return, Freiherr Ulbricht, he makes 2 hits, a critical wound, and takes the zombie out of action. The other 2 zombies together, they attack Armin, the warrior. He fails his fear test. Both zombies fail to hit him. In return, needing 6s, he can't hit the zombie. The newly arrived Corsair takes all his courage, he makes his run test and fear test and attacks the zombie. He gets a hit but fails to wound. In return, the same for the zombie. Pinya the sorcerer, he walks towards the monolith to cut a piece off. Then he takes a double shot at the zombie over there, but needing 6s, he can't get a hit. And yet again, on a world of 3, 2 new zombies arrive, attracted by the fresh meat. After already having slaughtered 3 zombies, Friar Ulbricht runs straight into the next close combat with this zombie. He gets 1 hit, a critical wound, and takes the zombie out of action. In the other close combat, Armin, he can't hit the zombie, and in return the zombie can't hit him. With so many zombies on the board, it's heating up, although some of the zombies are just wandering around. But this zombie over here, he attacks the sorcerer, who makes the fear test. The zombie can't hit. In return, the sorcerer gets a hit but doesn't wound. In the other close combat, where both are locked here, the Dark Elf strikes first, hits but doesn't wound. In return, the zombie can't hit the Dark Elf. Over here, Friar Ulbricht, the zombie slayer, hits again. He hits, he wounds, and takes the next zombie out of action. In this locked close combat here, Armin, he gets a hit through, a wound, and takes this zombie to ground. The Dark Elves are all locked in close combat. Pinya, the sorcerer, he hits against the zombie, gets 2 hits, gets 1 critical wound, and takes the zombie to ground. Same result with the Corsair, also a wound, and takes him to ground. In Murderous Frenzy, Friar Ulbricht storms towards the next zombie, hitting him both times, wounding him with his dagger. The armor save due to the dagger is failed, and he takes the zombie to ground. In the other close combat, Armin just has to wound the zombie that is on ground. He does 2 critical wounds and takes the zombie out of action. This zombie is still strolling around. The zombie over here, he attacks the Corsair in close combat. The Corsair makes his fear test, but the zombie manages to get a hit through. He wounds the Dark Elf and takes him out of action. Over here, the sorcerer, he makes 1 hit, a wound, and takes the zombie to ground. And Friar Ulbricht, he has his next victim. He gets 2 hits, 2 wounds. The wound of the dagger is saved, and a critical wound with the sword, and he takes his next zombie out of action. After the loss of the henchman and on a roll of 3, no reinforcements will arrive for the Dark Elves. Enraged by the death of the Corsair, Pinya, he takes out of action the zombie that was on the ground. Both adventurers make a U-turn and try to escape with the Weirdstone. 1 zombie is out of reach, and the other 2 are just wandering around in the thick fog. As Pinya is the last man standing for the Dark Elves, he moves away from the monolith and takes a double shot at the zombie. Needing 6s, he gets 1, he wounds the zombie and takes him to ground. Passes his run test and runs 8 inches towards the board edge. Friar Ulbricht, he doesn't make the test, and on a 7 he hears a strange noise and just stands still to listen to it. The zombies were too far away from their prey and just wander around. The zombie, as he just got up from ground, he also just walks 4 inches in a random direction. So Pinya can't run, but just moves away from the zombie as fast as he could. Friar Ulbricht again fails his run move, and on a 5 he moves 4 inches in a random direction. Meanwhile, Armin, he makes it over the table with his run move, and he will instantly return on the battlefield. So with 3 Wheatstone shards secured by the adventurers, Armin comes here on the table, going towards the pumpkin patches. Short turn for the zombies, as no one can attend their prey. Pina makes his run move and is almost off the table. Freiherr Ulbricht can't run as the zombie was too close to him, so he makes a normal 4-inch movement towards the board edge. Meanwhile, Armin, who is again on the board, he searches the pumpkin patches, and on a 3 he finds 10 gold crowns. The zombies just shuffle around a bit as there is no target in range. Finally, Pina makes it off the table, securing a 3rd Wheatstone shard for the Dark Elves, and on the table comes a new hero, Donce the Beastmaster. He's equipped with a dagger, a beast lash with dark venom on it, but it has no effect on the zombies as they are immune. He has also a repeater crossbow, and his special skill is step aside. Donce comes on and immediately runs towards the Wheatstone monolith. As both of the adventurers are too close to zombies, they can just make a normal movement. Again, no target in range, the zombies just shuffle around. Having already lost 2 members of their warband, the Dark Elves decide to make a tactical retreat before the adventurers could secure a 4th Wheatstone shard. So beginning with the winning warband, the adventurers got 3 Wheatstone shards from the scenario, in addition to the 10 gold crowns. So in the exploration phase, they can roll an extra dice and have to ignore 1 due to the straggler they got in the last battle. That is the one that is ignored. Due to the true sight prism, they can re-roll 1 dice, which is the 3, and they get a 3rd 2. So they get another 4 Wheatstone shards. In addition, with the triple 2s, they find a smithy where on 1 they got a free sword. Same as the adventurers, Lord Lear's Dark Elves get 3 shards from the scenario. In addition, they got another 4 Wheatstone shards by searching the city of Mordheim. On a double 2, they find a shop where they got 3 gold crowns, and on double 5s, they find an overturned card, where on a 4 they find a purse with another 7 gold crowns. Only 1 roll on the injury table for the adventurers, as Jochen can return unharmed to the warband. Aldruk, the Corsair, he recovers well and returns to the warband. However, the Corsair with the spear, they only find his dead body. After having killed 6 zombies and securing 1 piece of Wheatstone, Freiherr Ulbricht sees a massive increase in experience, so he can roll twice on the experience chart. On the first roll of 5, he gets a new skill, and he chooses Mighty Blow. So in close combat, he gets +1 strength to all weapons, excluding pistols. On the second roll of a 7, he gets a +1 weapon skill. Then Theobald, the champion, on a 4, he also got a new skill, and he chooses the quickshot ability. So when he doesn't move, he can fire his weapon twice. Then the next champion, Uwe the Younger, the Youngblood, on a 6, followed up by a 6, he got 1+ attack. And finally, in the henchman group, Jochen and Bob, the 2 spearmen, on a 6, they got +1 strength. Also a lot of roles for the Dark Elves, beginning with Lord Lear. On a 9, normally he would roll between toughness and wound, but as his toughness is at the top, he gets +1 wound. Then Schwagers the fabled on an 8, followed up by a 6, he gets +1 to his leadership. Grammar, the other fabled, on a 7, he gets +1 to his weapon skill. Then Aldrich and Yulin, the two Corsairs, they get to roll twice. First up on a 6, they get +1 to their weapon skill, and on another roll of 8, they add 1 attack to their stats. Then finally we got Quint, the last Corsair with the spear. On a 7, he gets +1 to his weapon skill. So the adventurers choose to sell 7 of their 8 Weirdstone shards, giving them 100 gold crowns. Added up to the 19 they got in the bank, they have 119 gold crowns to spend. With a recruitment roll of 11, they can add quite some power to the warband. So first up, they choose to get in another marksman, Zim, for the existing marksman group of Bim and Tim. He's equipped with a longbow and a free dagger. Then they add in another marksman to a new henchman group. He will equipped with a free dagger, a sword and a blunderbuss. And lastly, Otto the Younger, he will be given the free sword they have from the scenario. With the new additions to the warband, the adventurers have reached a maximal number of 15 models and a warband rating of 176. The Dark Elf sells 7 of their 8 Weirdstone shards, giving them 110 gold crowns. Added to the 17 they got in the bank, they have 127 for spend. First of all, they add a new member to their warband, a witch. She will be equipped with a free dagger and a sword, and she puts some black lotus on the sword. So each hit of 6 will be an automatic wound. Then the Lord himself, he gets a set of light armor and a helmet, another helmet for Gremna the Fellblade, and then they spend 20 gold crowns on 2 swords for the Corsair group, remaining with 7 gold in the bank. So Pinya the Sorcerer, instead of searching for rare items, he uses his ability Master of Poison to look after some dark venom. On a roll of D2 he gets 1 potion of it, and it will be used on the Beastmaster Slash. So this is the Dark Elves warband for the next game. They are at their maximum of 12 members and a warband rating of 158. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.